What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about what it's like getting fired in Norway. So, here in the United States, you can get laid off from your job for pretty much any reason, at any time, or for no reason at all. It's actually kind of scary to think about. So today, I'm really curious to learn about what this is like in Norway and what the experience of losing your job is like in Norway. So let's take a look.
In the US, layoff can happen suddenly due to the at-will employment system, meaning the company can terminate the employer for any reason at any time.
That is true. That is true. In reality, it's not like Americans are just getting fired all the time, like left and right. I've never just sat around and been scared to be fired as long as I'm doing a decent job. If you're doing a good job, there's nothing really you should worry. I mean, except if the company needs to cut employers but they can fire you for basically any reason. But they can't fire you based on discrimination, like based on your race or your gender or your religion or stuff like that. That's against the law. But other than that, pretty much anything goes.
And many do have to pack and leave right away because the employer wants to prevent them from potentially sabotaging the company.
I guess. Again, here in the U.S., most Americans are probably scared of being sued or not being able to get another job if you do this. So I don't know about that.
Some get severance, many don't. But in Norway,
Sure.
you cannot just let go without valid reason because law is strict, especially if one has permanent contract. Company needs a lot of evidence to prove to government agency that they have a valid reason to lay off this person.
Whoa! Whoa! In Norway, you have to prove to the government that you have enough reason to fire somebody? That's amazing for one thing. As an employee, that would make me feel amazing knowing that, even if you do a good job, you can get fired. Like if they don't like you or if they don't think your job is necessary or whatever. In Norway, knowing that it takes so much effort and proof to get fired, I like that. I think a lot of Americans would love that.
Advice is to never sign the first agreement your employer gives to you because it's a process of negotiation. By the Norwegian law, employee is entitled to the negotiation meeting with employer. One can accept or challenge termination decision within 8 weeks from the conclusion of negotiation. If you as an employee decide to challenge the notice of termination, you will be entitled to remain on your position
You can challenge it? What? Okay, this is just completely different. I've never even heard of this kind of stuff. So the employer has to get government permission to fire you. Here in America, companies are given so much freedom, very little oversight, which maybe that's good for some things with capitalism, but it's not good for employees and our benefits and our protection here. That's for sure. It's something a lot of Americans really don't think about because we don't know that there's other ways like this, that you can challenge that you were fired. You can challenge it. I didn't know that was a thing.
till the court has settled the case. And this, in worst case scenario, can take 2 to 3 years. During this period, you as an employee have right to remain on your working place and receive your salary as usual. By the way, in Norway,
What?
it's not allowed to fire a person that is on a parental leave or has been sick for less than 12 months.
Ha! Yeah, because in the US, like, if you're sick and you can't work, that's like a very good, that's a top reason to be fired, you know? In Norway, you're protected. Well, I think if you're pregnant in the US, you are protected to some extent. It's kind of random, but for the most part, you're not. So this is amazing, and it honestly makes sense to me.
And if the companies still do, you have a strong case to take to the court for big compensation. Severance package, it's not something that granted to you by the law in Norway. But to avoid all this drama with lawyers and courts altogether, company will often pay a lump sum or a settlement payment so that you will mutually agree to leave.
What? So if you get fired in Norway, you're going to get money. If you get fired in America, you're just going to get booted out the back door and say, good luck. I mean, sometimes at very high paying positions where the split up is amicable and mutual, the company will like agree to a settlement or a severance. But that is so uncommon here. You never hear about that.
The rule of thumb here is that it should be at least 3 months of your salary. You can also negotiate a garden leave, which means that you can extend your last day so you can stay on the payroll longer. And when you are on a garden leave,
What?
usually you don't have to work once you sign the settlement. Another thing is that you have a notice period, which is usually 3 months if you have permanent contracts.
What?
If you're still on your trial or you have a temporary contract, this time is usually 1 month.
Oh my God. You guys have it amazing. It's almost as if like in Norway, the government like cares about this kind of thing. In the US, the government doesn't care at all. Like, I've learned about some of the benefits that other countries have, like better vacation and sick leave and maternity leave, and this is just another thing that Americans don't have that we don't even realize we don't have.
The size of severance package in Norway oftentimes depends how long you have been working in the company and how old are you. For example, in the event of downsizing with mass layoff, company can provide severance package where all the employees receive 1 month of severance plus half or full months for each year they worked in company.
Like, this is such a common scenario in the US where a company has to do mass layoffs because they're not making enough money and they can't pay everyone, and it's just like 100 people get fired and that's it. You know, there's no negotiation about it. Like, and for a lot of Americans, our health care is tied to our job. We need our job to to provide healthcare insurance to cover our healthcare, which is a very, very big deal and very scary. It's very scary losing your job because you don't just lose your income, you lose your healthcare coverage. It's like double as worse here.
So the people that are close to retirement often can receive extra compensation. For example, when DNB, National Bank of Norway, was downsizing in 2014, they made severance packages based on age of employees. 62 years and older got severance package based on age with maximum 3 years of salary. And those under 62 years old got severance package based on seniority with maximum payment of 2 years salary.
3 years, 2 years pay? What?
So your total settlement package in Norway can include these common benefits.
I mean, that's amazing because it basically gives you 2 or 3 years to find a new job. Getting fired in Norway, it could be like the best. Because if you get one of these settlements, now you have enough money for like 2 or 3 years. It's like, you almost want to be fired.
Exemption from work obligations during the notice period, garden leave, holiday pay, pension saving, and other benefits during notice period. Salary compensation beyond notice period, either a lump sum or a certain number of months of severance pay. Support for career advice, further education, and lawyer fees, and also compensation in cases where employee had to go through unjust accusations.
Yeah, none of this is like, yeah. Getting fired in the US for like no reason and just accepting it and accepting that you're not going to get any benefits, that you're going to be screwed is it's normal. And yes, here in the US there is welfare, there are food stamps, there are ways to get government assistance, but it's not automatic. Not at all. You have to apply. There's huge wait lists. You have to be eligible. You have to prove all these things. It's really hard.
In the US, there is no federal or state law that mandates severance pay. It
No.
depends on the employer. Some people getting nice severance packages, especially the ones who work in tech companies.
Yeah.
But they are minority. Many
Yeah.
people get nothing.
Yeah.
When you negotiate your
Yeah. Severance pay? I've never, ever thought about severance pay, ever.
settlement, you need to see what works best in your circumstances. If you're a member of the trade union in Norway, you often can get help from lawyers that work in this trade union. Many companies will pay some of the lawyer fees, or lawyer can negotiate the company to pay your fees. You send to lawyer all your legal documents, you talk about what you want, and then
We are prepared to make you a very generous offer.
And we are prepared to reject that offer. What is your second offer?
typically
So in Norway, getting fired is it sounds like a big deal. Like, as in, it's uncommon. In America, it's a big deal, but it's common. In Norway, it sounds uncommon. There's so much you have to do and prove to get someone fired. And then they can get lawyers and like demand all this stuff. Like, people must really never get fired.
there are two paths. Either you mutually agree to settle, or the case go further to the court.
Wow.
And from there, it can take at least 6 months. Now, what is the valid reason? Well, if company broke, is easy. But if company want to restructure, they must follow guidelines. Like the
Okay.
reflection principle, last in, first out. Last one to enter the company is first one to let go based on
okay.
similar position. The company must also prove that they try to reassign you to a different role in the
What? They have to try to give you a different job in the company. Because in the US, a lot of times they'll just decide that your job is not necessary anymore or cut costs and then you're gone. In Norway, they have to try to find a different spot. That is amazing.
company. In Norway, companies must do everything they can do to get you back on track. It can be training, coaching, mentoring. Now, each person's
I mean, this just sounds incredible. Like it sounds made up. It sounds fake. I can't imagine. Like, wow. And a lot of Americans would be like so skeptical of this. Like, this is socialism. This can't work. And it's like, man, just knowing that in Norway you like have this system, and Norway is such a good example too, because Norway is a very successful country doing all of these policies and benefits, and yeah, most of us Americans have no idea that you can do it this way.
case is different, and you have to consider the emotional toll. So what's next? What about the healthcare? In the US, healthcare is tied to your job, your employer. And once you lose your job in the US, you also lose your healthcare privilege. And healthcare is really expensive. Now, when you lose your job in US, you can still stay with your company's health insurance, but it's really expensive, like around $700 for a single person per month and almost $2,000 for a family.
I've experienced that when I've changed jobs and I want to stay on the old health insurance for a bit in between. They allow you to keep your old job's health insurance for a little while, but you have to pay so much more every month. Like So, oh my God, so much more. Yeah. For a family of three, it could be like $1,000 a month or more if you want better insurance. And yeah, yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Norway, healthcare is free. To visit your doctor in Norway, you usually have to pay a small amount, about $15 to visit your doctor. After you reach the limit of about $300,
I don't even know. I don't know if I can listen to this. It's just so frustrating. In Norway, the healthcare is free. In the US, if I want to visit my doctor on my healthcare insurance, I think it's like 75 or $100 every time I visit just for a checkup. Um, then you have to pay like thousands of dollars out of pocket before the insurance even starts helping pay. Yeah, I mean, it goes on and on.
a year, the rest of the doctor's visit will be free of charge. There is also some categories of people who don't need to pay even these small amounts. For example, kids under 16 years old and pregnant ladies. There are also
wow.
a lot of people who have private health insurance in
You would think we would give benefits like that to children and pregnant women, and nope, nope, not here.
Norway. In 2024, it was 817,000 Norwegians, and 90% of them has this insurance fully covered from their employer. And no matter
Oh, so some Norwegians have extra healthcare insurance from your employer. I didn't know that.
if you got laid off, fired, or you quit your job, in Norway you have a right for unemployment benefit. There are a few different rules for different circumstances. If you got fired or laid off, you can receive unemployment benefit straight from day one. The benefit will be 62.5% from your previous salary
What?
and maximum $3,500 per month.
What? Dodpenger. 62.5% of your last salary immediately upon being fired. This is unbelievable.
There's also rules to how long you can receive it, and you need to be eligible. But all in all, if you earned more than $25,000 per year, you have a right to receive unemployment benefit up to 104
Wow,
weeks in
like
Norway.
2 years.
And if you earn less than 25K a year, you have a right to receive it up to 26 weeks. Not bad. To get this benefit, you need to register with NAF, and they will help you to get back on track. Either by helping you to find a new job, or offer you extra courses, or pay for your trainings if it helps you to find your new job.
I mean, this is what having a government is supposed to be for, right? Like benefits like this, helping people who, losing your job is like one of the most perfect examples of when like social assistance, government assistance is necessary. Yeah, that's like one of the biggest benefits of having a government. And in America, we just squander it. In America, like government assistance, like has a negative connotation. Like people get mad here that unemployed people get government assistance if they can qualify. People are mad about that here. They don't like that people get help.
In US, unemployment varies from state to state. In California, you have $160 to $1,800 per month. In Texas, you will get around $300 to $3,500. But if you live in San Francisco, where rent is like $3,000 per month, good luck living on unemployment benefit.
Yeah, it's a joke. Like, if you can get on unemployment pay, it's not enough to live on. A lot of Americans want it to be low because they think unemployment pay makes people lazy or something.
All in all, in Norway, the size of your previous salary give you more unemployment benefit. And in US, what you get, it depends of the state you live in.
Wow.
So to recap, getting laid off sucks, but it helps to know that you won't get kicked off right away. Do not have to worry about health care, to receive unemployment benefit, to feel protected by the law, that there is a safety net to catch you if you fall. Thanks for watching.
Wow. This got me a little worked up because it's like, what are we doing here? this is not even a topic that is discussed in the United States. And yet it affects so many people. People are miserable here because of our unemployment policies. But it's something that's never talked about. No one ever thinks like, oh, Norway is doing it this way, so we could think about that. No, it's not even a discussion, and most of us never even learn about it. So as an American hearing, for the first time what it's like in Norway with the unemployment process and the benefits, it's so cool to learn about that this is real. But it's frustrating to see like what we're doing here in America by comparison. So this is gonna keep me up at night thinking about this. Wow. Anyway, if you enjoyed this, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts, especially if you're Norwegian and you understand this, or if you've experienced unemployment in Norway and this process. That'd be cool to hear about. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Norway and seeing Norwegian things I've never seen before, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.